Hello, my dear brothers and sisters in Christ. I just want to share with you a little bit of a news update as we get into the summer. I had hoped that it would just all be good news and happy news as we enter into this peaceful time of year with rest and good weather. But sadly, as you well know, current events have weighed us down with more news of tragedy and of violence and war. But maybe instead of my optimism for a great laid-back summer, it's just a reminder of how important it is for you and I to take the invitation of Jesus, that we become his light in the world. So I'm taking that as the positive from all of the mess in our world. Certainly prayers for those who have been affected by all of these tragedies and violence, but also prayers that you and I can be part of the solution, can be part of what God is calling us to do to rebuild our society and to rebuild our world in a way that makes manifest the peace of Christ and the love that we should have for one another. So then let me shift gears into the ticky-tacky things of what's coming up that hopefully provide opportunities for you to live out this mission. First of all, June is the month of the Sacred Heart. So, of course, we think of the heart, we think of love, and in Jesus, the merciful love that he has for each one of us. So we invoke his mercy on us as individuals, as sinners in need of his pardon, but also on the brokenness of our world. So I'd like to invite you to join me on the Solemnity of the Sacred Heart. That is Friday, June 27th, for the 5:15 p.m. Mass. We're going to do it solemnly and celebrate this love that Jesus has for us, but also entrust to him all of the mess of our world and ask that his healing love might come and make what is broken whole. So join me for that. At the end of the Mass, we'll have a short procession to the Sacred Heart Chapel, because our beautiful cathedral has a chapel just dedicated to the Sacred Heart. A chapel, by the way, that was finished, decorated during the Great Depression, when people again had this heaviness, but they wanted to reaffirm their trust in God's love. So we'll have a little procession there. We'll pray the Litany of the Sacred Heart, and then I intend to consecrate the Cathedral Parish to the Sacred Heart of Jesus, and then we'll have benediction of the Blessed Sacrament. Following that beautiful spiritual experience, we're going to go out into the cathedral courtyard behind the cathedral and have a cookout. So I invite you to bring a chair and something to drink. We'll provide the food. But please RSVP online so we know how much food to prepare. And even if it rains, we'll do something simpler downstairs in Hayden Hall. But I hope you can join us on that Friday, June the 27th, both for the prayer, but also for the community building, that we are one family of faith joined by the love of Jesus' heart. For this summer, it's a particular anniversary, the 350th anniversary of the Sacred Heart apparitions to St. Margaret Mary Alacoque. So I thought it would be a fitting occasion for that parish consecration. Also on that day, there's some important news for our cathedral parish. It's not quite of the same level of importance as God's love for us and of the prayers that we're offering for our world, but it is a happy little thing that I think should be marked. That is, the property across the street from the cathedral, which has been for sale for several years, thankfully, events have been arranged so that the cathedral can purchase that property. We will have a loan and have to pay that out over time. But what it allows us to do is to stitch together a cathedral campus. I know that what weighs on your mind as well as mine is how we can make things work with a cathedral that was built so long ago with modern needs. We're going to talk about air conditioning and bathrooms and all of that and addressing those over time. But parking is a big issue as well. So having this property across the street will increase our capacity for parking right now, but it also gives us some options for what to do in the future, especially if the city council does go forward eventually with that plan to eliminate street parking on Summit Avenue. I hope that's not the case. Anyway, but on that day of the Sacred Heart is actually when we close on that property. So we'll have a little blessing ceremony for that as well. Now, the Sacred Heart is not the only anniversary this summer. The Archdiocese has a 175th anniversary. That's going to be on July the 19th. It's a Saturday Archbishop Hebda will be having the 5:15 p.m. Mass, so we hope that you can come for that, and the Archdiocese is organizing a big celebration for it. To commemorate it, the Archbishop has commissioned a couple of books. I want to share with you one book that has a beautiful history of the Archdiocese, and then a photo spread of every single parish in the Archdiocese. It's amazing, a beautiful book. So if you're interested in learning more, that's an option. Or this is what's called a graphic novel. And if that confuses you, it did me too. I said, what's a graphic novel? I hope it's not graphic violence or something. No, it's not. It's what you and I used to call a comic book. But since adults read these too, we can't call them comic books. They're graphic novels. This one has a shorter history, as you can see, of the Archdiocese, but it would be another option and one that you could go over in a lot less time than the more detailed history. But those are both available from the Cathedral's gift shop, as well as the two wonderful books on the Cathedral itself, one telling the story of its building and one explaining all the rich symbolism of all the art and architecture. So enough of a commercial for those things, but just know that those are out there if you're looking for some summer reading. Did someone say summer reading? Well, our Faith and Culture series is back. And for the summer, we have 3 works of fiction and 3 wonderful opportunities to reflect on those together. For June, it is C.S. Lewis's classic, which his friend Tolkien called the best work he ever wrote, Till We Have Faces. So I hope you'll join me in reading that. It's not a long read, and then coming to the Faith and Culture lectures to discuss that. July is going to be Canticle for Leibowitz, which is a Catholic sci-fi. Again, something I didn't think really necessarily existed, but a wonderful work. And then in August, it's going to be Song at the Scaffold, the story of the Carmelite sisters who were martyred at the guillotine during the French Revolution. And Pope Francis, just about 6 months ago, canonized them. So very timely, a great work of literature, but also a very timely spiritual message. So that's for your summer reading, and hope that you find that enriching. Other things going on this summer, of course, are young adults. Every Tuesday evening, we've got something for them. So if you're in your 20s and 30s, please join us for those events. And then also, if you know someone who's thinking about the Catholic faith, or if you yourself want to be prepared to better explain the Catholic faith, we're having a series on what we call the roots of faith on Thursday evenings. So this month in June, we're just talking about why God, why Jesus, why the Church. But beginning the week after the 4th of July, we'll start going through C.S. Lewis's Mere Christianity and discussing that together. So it'd be wonderful if you could join us for that on Thursday evenings. Looking a little bit further out, if you can't make the cookout here in June, which I hope you will, or couldn't make the one in July for the Archdiocese celebration, which I hope you can, August the 15th, the Solemnity of the Assumption of Mary, after the 5:15 Mass that evening, we'll have another cookout. So go ahead and pencil that one in too. So again, a lot going on here this summer. I hope that through the rich opportunities for prayer here, and also through our family celebrations together, that we become that light to our city, that light to our whole community, and bring the light of Christ to dispel some of the darkness that has recently been overshadowing us. Know of my prayers for you that this summer is a time of rest and relaxation, but I hope you use some of that free time to dig in deeper to the spiritual life and to help me to make the cathedral the beacon of charity and of truth that Christ wants it to be. God bless you.